Today, we will discuss the Chinese satellite system in space, their objectives, current status, and where they're heading towards. China's foray into the broadband mega constellations comes as governments and companies across the world are increasingly eyeing satellites, from communications to military operations. China already operates geostationary communication satellites. ChinaSat 26, a full satellite providing more than 100 gigabits per second, was launched in February. In future, China Satcom will promote construction of satellites with larger single satellite capacity. It is expected by the end of 14th five-year plan, total capacity of high throughput communication satellites will exceed 500 gigabits per second. The launch of the China's 10th CASC revealed aim to conduct 100 launches this year. CASC is targeting around 70 launches with commercial launch entities, roughly further 30 launches. Notably, China has plans for two low orbit satellite internet constellations. A constellation is similar to a SpaceX. These are the national program and Shanghai based G20 Starlink constellation. Qianfan, also known as G60 Starlink, is among the three planned China's mega constellations that see the country firms launching nearly 40,000 satellites into low orbit, defined as less than 1,200 miles above the planet, in the coming years. The so-called mega constellations refer to networks of hundreds and thousands of orbiting satellites. The constellation is set to grow from 600 satellites by the end of 25, with plans to reach over 14,000, providing broadband internet globally for 2030. Satellites and high HEOs can provide continuous coverage of the surface and can be useful communication. China launched its first high orbit internet satellite on February 29, 2024. China launched the new high orbit internet Thursday, apparently to provide internet service to China and surrounding areas. CAS statement revealed previously undisclosed payload on the high orbit satellite. State media reports in November that the first high orbit internet satellite has been completed and would be used to provide coverage for the entirety of China and key areas along the Belt and Road Initiative. Now China has launched a second secretive high orbit satellite, internet satellite. China launched the new series of geostationary communication satellites, through its purposes remain unclear. The Long March rocket lifted at 9:14 a.m. Eastern Time, August 1st, from Xichang Satellite Launch Center, southwest of China. CAS statement revealed that the earlier undisclosed payload launched to be remains unknown, undisclosed. China will offer access to the internet communication services, part of deals with governments within its Belt and Road Initiative. Chinese companies' role in global telecommunication has been a fractious subject in recent years, with the US government raising alarms about alleged security risks for countries using ground-based Chinese infrastructure equipment. Some experts warn of related concerns if countries start getting online via China satellites. Another thing to look at in the globally, China is basically the satellite geosynchronous surveillance ability basically provides no place to hide in the Indo-Pacific. Yangwan 41 will provide unprecedented ability to identify and track car-sized objects throughout the entire Indo-Pacific and put at risk numerous US and allied naval and air assets operating in the region. Yangwan 41 is a primarily military reconnaissance satellite, as Yangwan program supports space component of the People Liberation Army. Yangwan stands for remote sensing. Once Yangwan is the fourth optical satellite, notably much larger and heavier than the previous predecessors. Experts assume Yang 41 is more capable than its three peers, whose high optical resolution is believed to be around 15 meters. This resolution is enough to detect, likely classify large ships. If Yangwan builders were able to cooperate technology, Chinese research is expected to perfect by 2020, optical resolution might approach 2.5 meters and their reports they have achieved it in 2024. This resolution would be sufficient to identify, track car-sized objects equivalent to seeing a strand of hair from 800 meters away. A typical satellite in LEO orbits in less than 2 hours, just only seeing a given spot on Earth for a few minutes. Additionally, due to orbital mechanics, it may take hours or days for that satellite to revisit the same spot. Though a constellation of satellites at lower orbits can provide persistently by reducing the revisit times. Satellites in geo orbit at the same rate, which means they view the Earth as if it's not moving. Only geo provides satellites like Yangon with persistent view of the same place. An additional advantage is geo satellite can see almost half the Earth's surface from its 36,000 kilometer altitude. China operates other surveillance satellites. These satellites are part of the GeoFound program, which has 29 satellites in low orbit. For a total of 32, GeoFound means high resolution, part of the China high resolution Earth observation systems. And ostensibly a civilian initiative to assist in agriculture, disaster response, environmental monitoring. In addition to satellites, GEO satellites operate near airborne ground-based data collection and processing. In addition to the optical satellites, operates one synthetic aperture radar in geosynchronous orbit called LuRI-TANS-4, launched in August 2023. Paired with existing geo-optical surveillance capability, Yangon 41 increased resolution, China will be able to more identify and track U.S. allied forces in the Indian and Pacific Ocean more than ever before. This increased resolution may give China ability to identify and track smaller objects, not just ships, but airborne objects and bombers as well. While stealth technology can help aircraft evade detection by radar, it is less effective against optical sensors, as demonstrated when Google Maps used Spotter B-2 bomber flying over Missouri, pairing data from Yangon-1 and China's geosurveillance satellite with the trained artificial intelligence would likely automate the speed up identifying objects of interest. In addition to the optical and SAR geo remote sensing, China operates around 300 other surveillance satellites in lower orbits. China could use its persistent geosurveillance capability to locate, identify, and track an allied forces in the Indo-Pacific. In real time, such tracking could be used to tasking China's LEO satellites which possess better resolution than the GEO system. Other intelligence collection platforms to gain more insight for the targeting by long-range missiles such as China DF-21 and DF-26 anti-ship ballistic missiles. These relentless advances in Chinese surveillance has resulted in Indo-Pacific region where there is no place to hide.